What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, as requested, we are going to be talking about Cymatics Diablo. I'm going to show you guys how I've been using Cymatics Diablo in my music creation process, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you can learn something from it. Basically, how I've been using Cymatics Diablo so far is three things. Drums, bass, and 808s. That's it. I've been using it pretty much on these three things, and it's absolutely excellent. What I have here is I created a melody that we're going to go off of. It's in D minor. We're going to talk about this one 808 here from my Trunk Shaker sound kit, the Bussin' 808. So basically what I'm going to do is, first off, I'm just going to play the melody, and I'm going to start tuning the 808s and getting the 808s right while using Cymatics Diablo, so you can observe what I'm doing, what parameters I'm moving, and then after that I'm going to talk about what I did and why I did it. So let's hop into it. This is the melody that I just kind of came up with in Arcade. It sounds like this. Super cool. We're going to be doing everything in D minor once again. You can see everything is really, really low, right? But it's a super good starting point. Very clean, nice 808 with nice harmonics. So we've got Cymatics Diablo already on here, so I'm just going to start playing. You can see already we're getting something crazy, right? Come on, man. There's the Bussin' 808, how I would pretty much use it in this sort of beat with this sort of processing using Cymatics Diablo. This is our end result here. Sounds like this. Without Cymatics Diablo, see the volume goes down. Lose a lot of that girth and width with it. You got a lot of that presence back, right? And I didn't even push it as much as I could and would, but that's what I would do with that. Now let's talk about kind of what I'm doing here. So I add a little bit of punch, and the punch is extremely subtle. It does exactly what it says, but it's more apparent when you use it on kick drums to hear the punch. It's very subtle. Honestly, I don't even think it's doing anything. The main things that are doing something that you definitely probably heard do something are the body, heat, sizzle, width in the clip, and then a lot of the EQ stuff here. So the body obviously just gives the sound a little bit more girth. Now, I'm not no fucking sound technician or anything like that. I use my ears to understand what's going on in the sonic world, right? I'm not going to be like, the sizzle adds in the saturation at 0.04. Fuck all that. That's bullshit. That's not fun to me. I use my ears. I listen. I go by what I feel, and I feel this is a good ass end result here. So the body, I think it adds in a lot more girth to the sound. The sizzle's really nice. I usually love using the grit. As you can hear, it adds in that fucking sizzle. That's sizzle to me. I love using that shit. But in this case, I used the exciter, which added in a little bit more mid-range harmonics in my ears. And almost a little tiny bit of sizzle. The width does what it says. It makes it a little bit wider, so I just slightly widened it out. Listen with that. That's super wide. So just a little bit did the trick. And then clipping, it really just kind of brings up the volume a little bit. Really, really cool. So I just used a little bit of that, and it's hard clipping. And then what really kind of shaped the sound here is the low, mid, and high EQ bands. And I really like taking out a lot of the mid-range frequencies in these 808s and kick drums and pretty much all sorts of things. I love kind of moving that mid-range over to the left side of the clock here, because listen, when you bring this mid-range in, it's cool, but it feels like it almost loses a lot of its actual low end, right? And that is in favor of these really richer sort of mid-range harmonics, right? But I don't really want that. I want the body. I want the girth of the sound, right? And I really want it to sound hefty, right? This doesn't sound really hefty. It's gonna sound like you're gonna hear it on a fucking iPhone speaker, but it's not hitting per se, right? So I'd like to bring those mids down because that when you listen to it on a fucking system, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's sounding right. Then you could obviously use the low band to kind of boost up the low end. Or take it away. So you could even give it more mids. That's the cool thing here. You can give it these mids and then give it some lows and just balance that out. So now we've got a good result that you could use, right? And then actually the highs, the high end just does what it says, gives you some more high end. So yeah, so I usually like to duck my mid range, keep the low end right there. I like the darker tones, right? So that's what I did on the Bustin' 808. That's how I use Cymatics Diablo on this particular 808.